Bear in mind that
hoping.
the stream timers that you see on Twitch is a little bit ahead of where we are too, so...
Yeah, I'm trying to... This is going to be a complete mess from here. God damn it, League client. But yeah, a team fight happened. It's 10-5 now. A 2k gold lead for RIPSQUAD and 2 Drakes. We see the Ocean Soul being the soul for this game. And yeah, uncharacteristic here for the side of Psycho but Sweet for their bot lane to be 0-5 and being completely dominated in lane.
It is not often you see Jaina and Mouth getting like gapped in lane, so it's really interesting the Ripper actually being able to play through this bot lane this game, because that's usually not an angle that teams can take against them.
But yeah, looking at builds, I'm not seeing anything unusual so far. Do see the boring but, you know, reliable Viego build of Divine Sundra.
Yeah, I personally think that the Divine Thunder build on Viego is the best right now. I think just having that extra sustain and the anti-tank is huge on him.
So, we're seeing the fighting thing happening here. From the water lands, but is he going to end up falling? The Calibrum Auto combined with the Ignite. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Susan doesn't get the +12 and ends up dying in the tower dive. Unfortunately, auto-attacked a minion and missed the +12 and the ult got it instead. So, meanwhile, we do see Plankty getting caught out here by Ozonox, but is he going to be able to kill it? The healing is just... You know, that should not have been so close. I hate these things. But that will end up, again, being a return kill there for Ozonox. And...
This is getting bloody. This is getting very bloody. I'm surprised. I thought this was going to be It started off very slow, so I thought they were going to have a lot more time and respect for each other as teams, but now it's just sort of got to the pace.
Why is Fizz tiny? I hate April Fool's patch. But yeah, we're seeing a 3k gold lead now for the side of RIPSQUAD, which, looking at gold between people, a lot of that is in the bot lane, as we're seeing, like, between Aphelios and Vayne and Nautilus and Janna combined, it's about a 3,500 gold lead, which, yeah, that's pretty much the entire gold lead just there, of which, in the jungle we see Planksy having a 500 gold lead over Ozonox, and in the top lane we see Moneyman Flacco with the 1k gold lead over Ornn, of which then the mid lanes are, despite Black Hole mid doing well so early, even in gold. But yeah, we'll see the second Herald being picked up here for RIPSQUAD. Complete objective control right now when it comes to these jungle creeps.
A lot of effort into getting their mid lane back into the game in that early.
So, it's like, while Fizz may have not had a brilliant early game, he is just becoming a Chum the Waters bot.
Yeah, that's all he's needed for, though. That's the thing, every time that they come in to help him, all he needs to do is throw down that R, and Vex, if she doesn't have flash, she has no real answer to it, so... But again, as we're starting to see these items slowly coming through for them, it's gonna. I have a feeling it could still even up. The gold gap isn't insurmountable. It's 3,000 across the map. It's not totally doomed, and that Nasus is starting to become a very scary dog.
Talking about the gold gap, 750 gold shutdown collected by Black Hole mid. They just stepping up too far about his team. Meanwhile, we do see the Vexel going out, releasing kick into 3 people. That's just clean up. Yeah, that was a beautiful, beautiful kick there. We do see Vayne managing to pick up the shutdown there onto Winter. Managing to stay alive, kiting backwards. That will be a Nasus kill there. That might actually be a winning fight for Psycho but Sweet here. See Nasus picking up another one. Meanwhile, we got Jaina Proudmore kiting out. It's not able to survive, but she's done enough. And, well, yeah, will Fancy be able to escape the Withers?
Another +12.
Yeah, it's going to be a given up, but that was a... If you're on the side of Psycho but Sweet, you're happy with that fight. You just picked up multiple shutdowns. And again, April Fool's patch doing things. We see a raptor known as Vex. But I'm assuming everyone else... Can you see that in your game as well?
Yeah, it's a stupid April Fool's patch.
Yeah. And we're doing a best of 3 on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, doing a quick stack check on that Nasus, that's 450 stacks in 20 minutes.
Oof. That is a...
And he's now a cast minion.
That is not at all what you want to be seeing as a... This is sort of getting into this mid-game scaling now. You don't want to be seeing that Nasus with 5 and 1 at this point of this game.
Interesting to note, he is building the Gargoyle Stone Plate. See the Everfrost coming through against the Dredgeline on... I've turned vision off for one team, whoops. Lee Sin is huge. But yeah, we're seeing, again, this is the third Drake here, which Sai really need to pick up the Friend Solver. We see the ult coming out from Vex here. Doesn't manage to get the Fear out, it's immediately kicked. We see the Call of the Forge God here, goes straight through the middle of the team, doesn't get recast. Nasus is fighting for his life. He's managing to be able to actually pick up Aphelios here. He's still alive, still living, eventually gets shut down, the CC from Ornn. So we've got just the Vayne and the Janna alive. Will they be able to clean this up? We already see the last hour pop, but gets caught by the Dredgeline here, and well, that's just going to be death, I believe. Manages to pick up Middle East here. Meanwhile, Fizz will just be looking for Janna, and that will be the ace for the side of RIPSQUAD. Jesus, these fights are getting chaotic all of a sudden.
But yeah, that kick there just really set up RIPSQUAD. He just booted someone through most people and just set that up perfectly.
So, despite the recast of Call of the Forge God not going off there, just that first cast was enough CC with all those brittle procs, with the Lee Sin kick to set up a beautiful team fight there. Okay, the Vex ult is Shadow Surge, so I don't keep forgetting it.
Do you think it would be wise for this Vex to stop trying to be the initiator in the fight? Because I think the last two fights have been fails for Sai. It's been the Vex initiating both fights.
The Vex initiation was good, but the problem is she didn't manage to get that personal space off for the AoE shield, because if she'd managed to get that W off, that fight would have gone entirely differently. However, Fancy was quick enough on the kick there the moment she came out of ult that it didn't get to happen. So, again, like, the thing is with this team, that's their only engage. They do need the Shadow Search. Oh, we just see... Yeah, that's a dead Nautilus. We do see the teleport coming out here from Ornn onto the Aphelios tower. We see the Call of the Forge God go up, lands on 3, but ultimately it's just a terrible TP. Just put himself into the entire team of Sai with no backup there. And what was a 1 for 0 just becomes a 2 for 0. And they will finally be able to look at starting to get some objectives here. Mid lane tower has fallen though. So we see the Chum of the Waters come out. It does manage to land on Jaina Proudmoore here. However, it's not going to get much further as the Monsoon will be enough to make sure Winter can't reach the backline. And again, we're just back to regular business.
Yeah, for sure, Sai are probably about to siege this in. But again, as this every minute that's going on, I think Psycho's team are getting stronger and stronger. And Rip's answers for them are getting less and less each time.
So we see Jaina Proudmoore running forward, trying to get the Fizz, ultimately kills herself. They are managed to pick up Outlaw underneath the tower. However, Lee Sin's here to try and clean up, and he's extremely strong. We see Nasa stuck on the tower with no mana. That will be another kill there for Banksy. Meanwhile, Fizz, hanging on his life, ends up burning out to the Red Smite. And that will end up actually being a shutdown there for Ozonox. However, again, actually, that was worth it, just with shutdowns and...
Yeah. I think
why is Lee Sin bigger than Nautilus?
Psycho need to stop trying to chase these kills pointlessly. They keep throwing away every small lead they get by trying to overcommit to things. They need to just be taking these smaller fights to get themselves evened out before they start running under turrets, I think.
I mean, I think the problem there was, I think Jaina Proudmoore got a bit too eager there and ended up eating the tower aggro when someone like the Nasus, who has the health pool to actually do that, especially with a Gargoyle Stone Plate, it's a bit grief, I dare say. The G word.
No, I agree. I think, again, they need to slow this down a little bit. Try and get some of these leads and, slowly. They can't just be diving this early when they're still a little bit behind.
I mean, again, it's been a complete fiesta. They're still only 2,500 gold behind, which at this point in the game is not too bad. But again, with the fact there's been 40 kills in 23 minutes, the gold in this game is extremely inflated. It's like we're seeing, we're seeing all champions on 2 items already right now, bar support. So, yeah, it's just very aggressive. We see them trying to make a play here onto Moneyman Flacco, but nothing's going to happen. And they're just going to look to pressure Baron, I think, here. As again,
they've got the tools to get it. They've got more than enough damage to take that relatively quickly on their side, especially if they have the Aphelios up there with them. Viego is bot.
So yeah, they do see Viego on the bot, they're going to immediately start trying to rush it. We will see Stugbit Sweet moving in to try and respond. So we see a Sonic Wave, we see the Chum of the Waters thrown out. It does end up landing onto Jaina Proudmoore there. They're not able to follow up, however, Black Hole Mid is just caught. That's a 3-man Call of the Forge there, lands onto the back line. And they're able to just pick up them up while they expose. We do see Nasus, he's trying, but he's just all by himself, stuck between 5 members. We see the Sonic Wave landing here onto Jaina Proudmoore. They're not able to quite pick her up. However, on the other side, Ozonox is ended up being killed. That will be a shutdown, 500 gold onto Jaina Proudmoore there, which, ooh, Fizz hang on a shred of his life. He is able to get the double kill, but will eventually get picked up by the Aphelios here. And we will see actually the first Ornn Mythic being built onto said Aphelios. That will be the Typhoon coming out. Meanwhile, the Dredge Line lands onto Jaina on the tower, and that will just end up being the ace. And a bunch of Poros spawning, what the fuck?
Okay. That was fantastic macro there by the side of Rip, seeing the Viego bot and just making something happen straight away with that.
So yeah, using that pressure of the fact that they could be killing the Baron to then do something. Meanwhile, we do see the Dragon spawning in 15 seconds, which will be the soul point here, Ocean Soul, for the side of Psycho But Sweet, which that's not something you want to be staring down. In fact, are they even going to be able to contest this with Aphelios there to burn down the Dragon before they even spawn? So we do see Vex almost with the Shadow Surge here, so they might be able to try and prevent this. Yeah, they are all filtering in one by one. And so we will see the Fear being thrown out there, landing onto just the Ornn. So we see the Call the Forge God coming out here, lands again, 3-man. We see the Vex Shadow Surge coming out, and oh my god, the sun's happening. It's 2 separate fights happening here. We do see 2 kills now here on the side of Psycho Sweet, but Vayne is caught out by the Chum the Waters, managing to barely stay alive with the Monsoon. And this will actually be a well-won fight for the side of Psycho But Sweet, despite the gold advantage, and that will be just the reverse ace. Triple kill landing for Nasus there.
Oh.
And
what? What just... Vayne nearly died like 5 times that fight. What the hell was that?
but yeah, they are just going to look to move straight onto the Baron here. Nasus is so big because of April Fools, it looks like he's got his ult on permanently. I fucking hate this.
Of course this is the game we get.
But yeah, that will just be the Baron here, picked up for the Psycho Sweet, and also the denied Dragon Soul. Jesus, this game is getting chaotic. So I think after this Baron, the money will be pretty much even here. In fact, it's a 400 gold lead now here for Psycho Sweet. I think the first time they've had a gold lead this game.
Oh, they've got to be feeling pretty good about that.
That's a big wolf. Mate, this is so cursed.
Tiny Ornn going to take out a ward that's only about 2 inches smaller than him.
Yeah, you're pretty happy right now if you're Psycho But Sweet here. Which is just an absolutely monstrous Nasus they're struggling to get through with what was just the Gargoyles, now a Death's Dance on top of that. And like, when you've got 612 stacks, you cannot be ignored running into this backline.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we see... Oh, we see another Call of the Forge Ghost coming out, ends up landing onto just Black Hole mid here. Will end up forcing the Zhonya's out, and that will just end up being a kill. However, we do see them coming out. That is a kill for Viego. Chum the Waters does land, but they're not able to follow up on it. Meanwhile, Ozonox on the backline, barely surviving as Ornn. Ends up being picked up here, but not before Jaina managed to get a double kill there onto
Nasus.
Onto Fancy. That will be the triple kill there, picking up Lee Sin. And is this going to be a penta? We see the quadra kill coming out. It's just Winter alive. Will they end up looking for the penta here? As they do have 20 seconds to try and pick it up, or are they just gonna? They're just gonna look to use that Baron.
For them. Yeah, fair play for them not actually greeding for that.
That's not UNL.
I'm about to say, if I was Vayne right now, I would definitely be running straight down that mid lane trying to get that 5th. Oh, actually.
Saying that, we see the autos coming out here. Is she going to be able to get it? It's got a few seconds there. No, not quite. That is still a Fizz you're trying to chase down. They do still get that second tower, and they will just walk out. However, they will have to be careful as the Chum the Waters is back up, but yeah, Fizz is not going to be able to get in range to throw it out.
And again, Nasus recently picked up a Bramble Vest as well. Surely they're going to want more anti-heal at this point of the game. With Viego with his boar, the Vayne with the cringe bow, Nasus just with his lifesteal. Surely they want more anti-heal, right?
So it's quite surprising now that you mentioned that the only form of anti-heal they have built so far is just a single Bramble Vest, which you can just opt out of hitting on. As at the end of the day, Ornn is only scary when he's casting off. When, again, he doesn't have a significant gold lead because, oh, Nasus has done exactly that. Like, say, you look at the gold lead between Moneyman, Flacker, and On right now, and it's 4,300.
Damn, it's such a... It's just such a close first game. I mean, it's going to be such a close series. I think you might have been right about the disrespecting Rip's chances here, but it is definitely going to be a close series for sure.
But yeah, looks like we're just going back to neutral here, keeping things a bit calm for the first time in this game after like the first 10 minutes. As I say, there's nothing up to fight for right now, and they're just looking to keep these waves as far in as possible. Because again, we're seeing a 3.5k gold lead now on the side of Psycho but Sweet, despite being down 3 kills, which just goes to show how far that they've come back from the brink of, well, defeat, as it looked very bleak earlier.
I mean, this is what we were saying though, the longer this game goes on, the better it is just going to be for the side of Psycho, right? And this is just testament to that. That Vayne that was, what, 0-4 at one point is now 10-7. The Nasus is just an absolute monster. I mean, what do you do here?
Cry at the fact that she built a Randuin's.
I mean, yeah, standard Vayne stuff, you know?
Just build full tank because Vayne. You know for a fact the Middle East is starting to get a bit unhappy at looking at those items. Very avid AD carries over Howard. Enjoyer. Yeah, we do see the, again, both teams now starting to posture around this Drake, as again, it is still soul point for RIPSQUAD, which, if they get back, could be the difference between win-loss. So we do see also be popped here. We see the Call of Forge go there. Only lands onto Nasus in the front line. Meanwhile, in the back line, we see the Chum the Waters come out, but Janna is peeling. So Janna is almost dead. The shield there is going to be enough to keep her alive. Meanwhile, we see Vex like 2v1 on her own. We can't see that on the screen right now. Ozonox will end up being picked up, and somehow Vex is still alive and has managed to walk out. Meanwhile, the Kane is just walking forwards with a ghost. Found the Wither onto Fancy. Will he be able to survive? We see the Dredge line come out from a transformed Viego, but will force the stopwatch there from Fancy. And we're seeing them try and turn around, but there's not much they can do as Vayne just gets that dragon to try and deny them. However, that is a Aphelios just being left by himself in the backline. He's managed to kill 2 here, but gets 3 kills with the Crescendum.
They need that Vayne's damage. However bulky Nasus is, they need that Vayne's damage in them fights.
Say, they've gone too far there with that fight without the Vayne. As again, both of these teams are very centered around which AD carry does more. And when your AD carry isn't there, you've just bitten off way too much, well, more than you can chew there, and it just goes to show as they might just be able to take this tower here, which opens up the map a lot.
I would have argued if I was the side of Psycho that I'd have been ignoring that dragon and trying to go down the fight and trying to push for the ace. They were in the position where they probably could have actually chased that.
I mean, I think that they either all had to commit to the Drake play and not go for that fight, or they all had to commit. So saying that, we see the final hour popped, and that's just Vayne's single target damage, right click Aphelios, and he could die. It's going to be a double kill, picking up On. It's going to be a triple kill, picking up Fancy as well. And so we see a Chum the Waters thrown out, but no one following, and suddenly that's just a free Baron. We see Nat as well. We see Moneyman Flacco, a very tiny Moneyman Flacco, teleporting bot lane here to go and pick up that base, and again, further desensitize them from being able to try and contest this Baron. So I mean, he does have the Furies of Sands up here, so if left unchecked, he will completely shred that tower and the inhib following. And again, it's just an uncontested Baron, and again, the only person
stopping as well. Oh no.
Say, the only person who's managed to back right now is the Middle East, and yeah, you're Nautilus. That will be the tower, and then that will be the inhib. We do see Winter getting annoyed at being constantly stopped, eventually just walking there, but it's just too little too late. They end up losing the inhibitor, and multiple towers, and the Baron.
Oh, that is not good. Rip's macro has been so good all game, but all it takes at this point in the game is a couple of slips, and you can do that. You can just send Nasus down there with the ult and just knock down a turret in like 10 seconds. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, again, you're looking at the gold lead between the two top laners. It's 5,600 gold lead for Moneyman Flacco, compared to Ornn's measly just like it's 15,700 versus 10,000, which is just absolutely insane. And what was like a 2k gold lead for Outlaw here has now turned into a 3k gold lead for Jaina Proudmoore. Just again, an absolutely huge bounce back here for the side of Psycho but Sweet. of which, again, we said this before, they are the better late game team, as it's much harder for them to find these plays onto the carries when you've got a Janna and a Vex perfectly capable of just peeling. When you compare to Rip, which all they can really do is engage.
Absolutely fair play to the side of Psycho but Sweet, keeping their cool in that extremely rough early game in the bot lane to now be sitting on a 14-7 Vayne that's just a nightmare for them to deal with now. A 14-7 Vayne that's the size of... Like...
So we see the Chum the Waters come out, that completely misses. You call the Forge God, does land onto the Vayne, she's gone too far, but she's still alive, the Janna keeping her, but no, eventually falls to the Aphelios, and that's just their main carry gone. We see Ozanox here trying to find people. They do manage to kill the Nautilus, who will transform. Say, Fancy has gone down in the chaos of things, and that will just be constantly transforming, and they may have killed the Aphelios, but they can't kill Susan, and that should just be game.
Absolutely well played.
Say they did kill one carry, but we didn't account for the other. The Kane, the dog, the man with 770 stacks, building full team fight items and still slaying. And that will be game 1 to RIPSQUAD in what was a very good... Yeah, we will see the Aria's last pick.
I don't know how to feel about these comps again.
So the one thing I do want to say is, when you're looking for things that can stop a Samira ult, you've got Annie's W, you've got Annie's Bear, and you've got Warwick Fear and ult. So they're not exactly lacking ways in order to stop a... I can't even think what it's called. Samira ult from going off. Which, again, with the removal of Ravenous Hunter, having actually quite big ramifications for builds.
Yeah. What I will say, I am surprised that the Annie didn't go for Predator. I would have thought that would have been a much better room for her to be able to sort of match these Ahri roams. And a lot of early Annies do take Predator as well, don't they?
I mean, it depends on the kind of playstyle you want to go for. So we do see, it looks like Psycho but Sweet here are actually going for the invade. However, it will get seen out here by Fancy with the 5-point. So they're walking straight over a ward. Yeah, they're just going to cancel it, get the ward on the blue buff, and that'll be enough for them. We will see on the other side of the map, Middle East getting a ward onto their blue buff, so both junglers will know where each other starts.
We reckon that either of them are going to be able to have the strength to do anything with that knowledge early, though.
I mean...
It's quite neat. I'd imagine both these champs level 3 could near on kill each other, right?
I mean, I don't think we'll see the junglers interacting with each other too much, but what it does interact or change is how these lanes will actually play out in terms of what they want to do with their wave states. Although also, if we do end up seeing Ozanox pop his sweeper here, it will end up being a slight experience advantage for the side of Psycho but Sweet's bot lane, which I think that does actually make him level up a caster earlier, or a melee earlier even. But
yeah, the thing is really tripping me out. Seeing all those huge ducks in the jungle was really throwing my mind off. And will John get his blue? There we go.
Okay, we're not seeing a blue reset this game, thank God. But yeah, it looks like they're not going to sweep that ward, so it will be even experience in the bot lane. And yeah, so just going to be a case of looking like both junglers opting for a full clear here, or at least a 5-camp clear as standard. So we won't be seeing Fancy going for his free camp and looking for an early kill.
I think that the side of Rip's bot lane here, I think they've probably got the stronger pre-6, I'd imagine, won't they, with the Nami E and the Vayne Silver Bolts.
So Nami has a very nasty early game, and to a degree even Vayne does these days, the single target damage. Although not PTA, which is more of a scaling rune. Well, not PTA, instead has lethal tempo, which is more of a scaling rune. My bad. Yeah, we do actually see level. We do see the level 2 advantage here. Actually, though, did land on Psycho but Sweet spot lane. However, I don't think it's really going to mean much, as they didn't look for any sort of play going off it.
I think they realised their mistake in the last game of not having anything for the late game, and they've sort of ramified that by having the lethal tempo Vayne.
So one thing I have just noticed, though, is that is a barrier ignite Warwick.
Oh, goodness me.
Double combat summoners, so There is no hope of, and theoretically, Moneyman Flacco is not winning this early game. But we do see...
It does mean he's easy to gank though, right? Because again, the Poppy, now we know that a Poppy W does stop the Warwick dash. Surely if you're Poppy, you want to be sitting top and making his life misery, right?
Yeah, say we did see Ozonox looking to path for the gank there, but did get immediately caught out by that wall, which had been pre-placed, and yeah, just going to look to take both skulls instead while Fancy gets his full clear off. Again, double scuttling, not quite as important as it used to be, thank God. We all hated losing game at 3 minutes 15.
Yeah, I'm glad they changed the scuttle crabs like that. How do you feel about the Gwen pick, by the way? Because obviously that did receive a hard nerf like 3 patches back. Do you still think it's a viable champion, or would you advise it?
Oh, we're seeing the heroic charge come out here. It doesn't quite get the stun, so it won't be a kill, but it does end up forcing the flash out there for Middle East. So we do see him looking to go back in there. We see the Steadfast Sense comes out, catches the dash, and that will just be first blood there, falling onto Ozonox. We do see Fancy here to try and look for the fight. However, the bailout's come out, and that is going to end up just barely getting the revive, and that is going to be a triple kill there, getting for Ozonox. And that is the power of the Renata pick, the revive. And, that is not... Oh, back on mid. That is not
from
the flash
a
charm
really clean triple kill to a flash charm miss dead.
Bishan decided after seeing his bot lane get a 3 for 0 that he's unhappy with the result because it did not involve him, and decides to involve himself in a kill, which was not him getting the kill.
If I was Black Hole mid there, I would have been for sure hitting that Alt F4 very quickly.
Yeah, we have seen the Annie 2 broken in the all chat, but very, very clean first kill there. And again, Mouth there holding on to that. The bailout just long enough so that just before Jaina Proudmoore dies, puts it out and gets the revive, meaning that what would have been a 2 for or a 3 for 1 ends up being a 0 for what? What am I on about? 3 for 0. But
yeah, this is
one thing I'm not sure about here is double combat spells Warwick losing lane.
I mean, he's got quite a hefty CS gap, but that's about to be lost with the fact he's got a recall.
So he is going for a recall here, and he has no teleport, so should Moneyman Flacco decide to shove this wave out, he will lose a considerable amount. But yeah, off that, it's already a 1,300 gold lead here on the side of Psycho But Sweet here. Would have been bigger if it wasn't for a certain Griefer in the mid lane.
Full lucidity boots made as well for Poppy with the Predator on them.
Lucidity boots, Sheen, double longsword.
Oh,
going
boy.
straight for the Sun Pressure. So we see the gank coming out here. Not going to be much as it is completely warded out. The bear is... Oh, what?
Goes wide.
What are these mid laners doing?
I like this. We've got some exciting play from the jungle as the bot laners, and mid laners are just happy to give us content.
Yeah, that emote from the minion there is how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah, same.
Watching these mid lane games. But yeah, that is a considerable part of Annie's kit now missing, as we do see Black Hole mid get 6. So it is important to note that Annie does still have flash. So we are seeing the gank looking to happen top lane. We see the infinite... it is still called Infinite Rest come out, but yeah. Fancy was not in a position to capitalise on it, and with the needle work, is a big enough slow to just run away from the Warwick, and yeah, that will just be a reset.
Yeah, that was... He just moved too slow, I think, there. He was sort of sat there for quite some time. He probably could have went straight in, but... No, Gwen just straight out and not really punished too much for this. Although I don't like that Moneyman Flacco's doing their best impression of me and not TP'd once at 7 minutes.
I mean, that was Moneyman Flacco's first back, and there's not really much point teleporting to this wave right now, as it is just bouncing back to him. So...
Surprised he didn't.
Yeah, we are seeing the bot lane happening, the 4-man happening bot lane. We do see the Condemn land, but not going to die. We do see the bailout here, that duration keeping getting refreshed. However, that will end up being a shut down onto Ozonox there, and actually a kill on Renata as Nami has... Sorry.
Why did he go back in there?
So they're looking for more. So it's just... Oh no. Just a clean play there from the side of RIPSQUAD, outplaying the dive.
I think I definitely overextended for that one.
I think half the issues when they went for that dive, Renata ate the tower aggro and just kind of died. Like, Nami got a solo kill on Renata there. But yeah, that is that gold lead pretty much nullified, back down to 500 now.
Yeah, Sai really overstepped their mark there. They had Fanxi coming out the flank. Winter was moving down. They really should have probably held off on that dive. You're saying that it wasn't a total loss. They did get a few kills. Outlaw overstepped as well, so they managed to pick him off as well when he went back in. So it wasn't a total disaster.
But yeah, it looks like we are just going back to neutral here. We do see a bubble land, but it costs half of Middle East health. That's Samira already doing tons of damage. We do see her dashing in. It is going to force the Nami flash. But yeah, they're not going to be able to get much more as Melt, not quite high enough level yet to have that hostile takeover and, allow them to group up and allow them to kill each other. Meanwhile, in the top lane, we do see Ozanox here looking for the gank, which we do see Needlework come out, but yeah, they're just going to throw out the Infinite Duress and Mass just immediately gank over.
Yeah. The exciting life and times being a top laner right there.
But yeah, we're really struggling. English. Right now, we're really seeing Outlaw struggling to deal with this Samira, as that Vamp Scepter alone is just giving us so much sustain in this lane. They may have left Lifesteal, but Lifesteal still heals. And if you're not able to output enough damage to, obviously, out damage to sustain, there's not really much you can do. As they are just going to sit underneath the tower while Viego is starting to path bot lane here, but I don't think it's going to mean much as they're already backing off.
Do you think the mental of the RIP squad might be struggling after losing that first game due to obviously being, having the lead for about 25 minutes of that match? Do you think their mental might be a little bit...
I mean, when we saw their games against These Nuts, that's exactly how it went there as well.
Mm.
So we do see the final hour being popped by Vayne, but we will just see the hostile takeover coming out. The fish is just getting absolutely shredded. Meanwhile, yeah, it's like... So we do see the double kill coming out here. Meanwhile, they have fully engaged onto Mal. Will force the flash out, but he doesn't have any mana to tap. That is a second Infernal trigger going off. And that is just a triple kill. Now we see Annie joining the fight. Will she get the bear? She does manage to land the bear, and there is not enough mana for that bailout. So that will just be immediate death for Jaina Proudmoore, and that should also be Melt slowly picked off. Though we do see the shield being thrown off, which is just enough. Will Tibbs be able to get into burn range? Not quite. So that does manage to be a return kill, but we have seen duel that's happening, the Herald being picked up and dropped mid, which is even more gold going out.
I mean, this is a much cleaner showing from side this game. They're making calls, they're playing much more confidently and making a lot less mistakes. This was the Sai I was expecting game one.
Yeah, we see him now with a 2,500 gold lead, of which that is a Samira of shield bow already. Meanwhile, your Vayne only has Lunaquiver boots. So we do see him looking for a fight here, but that steadfast presence is going to make sure the Fanxi is not able to get near whatsoever. However, that will give them here the setup in order to just take this dragon for free. Although it looks like they are looking to walk forwards here and try and take some sort of fight. We see Samira walking forwards, but she will just end up using that W to block out. However, we do see the Predator coming in with the steadfast presence. However, we do see the stun being thrown out. Or they are still looking for it, however. But yeah, they're not going to be able to catch up. Good disengage.
That was a good dragon for them to get, really.
Good call there, seeing that their jungler is reset and their bot lane have just obviously died and reset as well. Taking that initiative to go and take that dragon there.
It's an excellent dragon for them to get as well. That attack speed going on the Warwick, the Viego and the Vayne is going to be huge.
So yeah, they are definitely enjoying the attack speed there, and we will see a Mountain Soul being the soul for this game. So we are seeing in the top lane, Moneyman Flacco forced here to pop Ghost and as Warwick is just walking forwards and right clicking.
For us, she didn't take the fight. I'd have thought that Gwen would have actually done alright into that when the Conqueror Vayne got Conqueror rather, sorry, the Leeching Seer, sorry.
I mean, the problem is that is still a Warwick who has Barrier, Ignite and ult. So we do see the stun landing here onto Black Hole mid, but so we will see the Heartbreaker come out, but it is Flash and that will just end up being the return kill. However, Annie has dropped the bear on the Black Hole mid and that will end up being the return kill, but will Poppy be able to get the 1v1 here? As we are just seeing her slowly beating her to death. That will be the flash out, which forces Oznox to use the heroic charge onto Tivers to get out, and that will be a 1-for-1 with lots and lots of summoners pop there.
You know, however much we were a little bit concerned about this Annie into this comp, it's actually getting work done.
So yeah, we're seeing Annie, like, just being able to find these bears fight after fight. Interesting to see there isn't Leandries here over something more burst orientated like a Luden's Echo.
Yeah, they haven't really got that much tank that Leandries can burn through. I'm surprised. Yeah, I think the Ludens or the Crown of the Shattered Queen might have actually almost been better, or even an Everfrost to try and slow down some of the mobility on their team.
I mean, the one thing to say is that the Leandries will allow her to throw up even more rolls, and if she has taken that Ultimate Hunter, that will basically just be Tibbers off cooldown.
Yeah, no, I personally would have went for the Everfrost myself, but the CDR, you are right, will be really good for her to be able to consistently have her ult up much more commonly and be throwing those down to try and burst off these high damage targets.
So it looks like we see him gearing up for a 4-man dive bot lane here. They throw out the charm, but it doesn't end up landing. So, and we do see as well Whip Rinter trying to join the fight. They obviously know they're stood around in that bush, so they're not going to go around and face check it. They're just going to sit there and play defensively. And so they're still looking for it. See, where Middle East just places the ward, scouts it out, but again, they're going to walk forwards and they're stuck on the tower 4v2 here.
Diego is coming though.
So we see the fight breaking out. The Everfrost goes through. Will force the flash there from Outlaw, but yeah, there's not much they can do. They're 4 players down to 1. We do see Viego flash wars for the charm, or for the stun. Manages to catch out Ari there. The bailout doesn't quite save her. Meanwhile, gets to transform, manages to shut down Samira, and that will be a 2 for 2 there, which I'd like to say not a 2 for 2, not worthwhile 2 for 2, as they did manage to get that 300 gold shut down, so an extra kill's worth from killing Jaina Proudmore there.
Why do they keep diving? Like, I think that was really unlucky, to be fair. Black Hole sort of caught 2 turret shots at the beginning of that. And, you know, as the Ari, you don't want to be taking that. That needed to go on the Poppy, but...
I think the problem with that dive is they knew that was coming for way too long, as they got spotted out the first time and then still stayed there.
Yeah. These dives have not been very clean for Psycho, which is a shame, but... You know, they're still committing, at least they're sticking together, they're trying their best, and they're sort of sticking to their guns. Oh my lord, and that's just Annie.
The Annie may not have a Ludens, but it's still one-shotting people.
Okie dokie.
Oh.
You know, forget what I was saying about the Annie at the beginning. they're making it work. We are seeing a gap in that mid lane right now.
I do have to question, is this a case of Annie being broken OP, or do people not know how to play against Annie because they haven't seen one in so long?
But that's it, like, you just don't... I think that's sort of some champions can be like that. There are matchups you're just so not used to, so you don't know the limits of what a champion can do.
Because I would almost say, like Ari should never really be in range to take a bear.
No, for sure.
Yeah. So they have managed to just catch... Ozanox backing there, so they are looking to immediately path onto this dragon. Although we can also see...
got the TP, so...
Say it. Important to note, Warwick can't join fights, as again, he has these double combat summoners and doesn't have a scoreline to actually show so much of them, although he does have a very surmountable 42 gold lead there right now, or not gold lead, TS lead. Yeah, we are seeing, again, it's going to be another 4v4 in the bot lane here. We see Fancy finding the stun to melt there, forcing him to back away. However, that will be the hostile takeover, which ends up being half of Nami's health. Ozanox is just a bit by himself though right now. We just see the Heartbreaker come out, but it doesn't quite land. However, they are just going to chase down Ozanox. Meanwhile, Annie has got another one-shot onto Ari. And that will just be a clean 2 for 0 there off of a very split-up fight there from the side of Psycho but Sweet. But RIPSQUAD all staying together there, throwing the CC into the right sides. Meanwhile, Jaina may have bitten off more she can shoot.
Beautiful.
Saying that, no, she hasn't. A beautiful Inferno trigger there to get the 2v1 kill. And it's looking like it's going to be a game of Samira versus Annie.
Good lord.
So
Yeah, as we were just saying, do you have matchups like that yourself, wherever you're in a sort of lane or a matchup and you haven't seen it for so long, it can sometimes throw you off because you're not entirely sure of the limits of the champions?
I mean, I went into that expecting the Inferno trigger to get condemned there, but it just didn't happen, and they just both melted. As again, Vayne can interrupt that Inferno trigger, but she just didn't, and they paid the price for it. Also, I want to point out April Fool's Annie's a bit big. Not anymore, as caught out recalling, charged into the wall and just immediately shut down. This will leave Dumbreaker into a tough spot here. However, he will just throw his Infinite Duress over the wall, and he's not in a hard spot anymore.
Oh no.
So meanwhile, we do see Ozanox finding Fanxi in the jungle here.
Ozanox. Holy.
However, he's not going to be able to quite finish off the kill. Doesn't have quite enough damage. As again, he's got standard poppy build of... Oh, that's a questionable charm, but it's fine. Ari is enough auto aim stuff that still does half the health.
That is a very, very scary Ozanox right now. Absolutely obliterating like 80% of Viego's health by about 3 seconds. That is not what you want.
Yeah, we will see him take the tier 2 mid lane here, which opens up the map a lot, and Psy have only lost, or haven't even lost a single Taro compared to the 3 on the side of RIPSQUAD.
It's a 4,500 lead as well, so...
3,500, although we do see the Flash Bear coming out, and that will just be like a completely dead Jaina Proudmoore there. Outlaw picking up the shutdown. Again, that was what I was saying. Annie, a really good counter to stop Samira, because you cannot use that W to stop. You can't use the mobile windwall to stop these stuns from coming through when it's just a bear or a W dropped straight on top of you.
I think we're about to see that gold difference very quickly close up.
So we see the hostile takeover thrown out, but it doesn't actually hit anyone. Meanwhile, we see... And yeah, we're just seeing them run forwards here. We have the Ari taken over, so we could potentially see a charm landing. It gets thrown out, doesn't quite land anything. But yeah, that's... We're talking about how they had the tower advantage, and it's now completely even with the 3 mid lane towers all being gone. And that is now just an open inhib.
Yeah, that's 2,000 with that 3,000 gold differential just cleared up straight up.
Interesting to note that Warwick does actually have a gold bounty right now, despite not having a single kill, because just the pure gold, just the CS differential in the top lane, again, 45, and the tower being finally dropped. Although we do see Jaina Proudmoore here, pathing towards the top lane, seeing if she can punish anything. Will get spotted out by a control ward here. Although Dumbreaker is opting to just keep recalling. Will he get found?
It's really interesting to see that there are like lane matchups here that basically every lane is like either one way or the other, like for CSing and levels at the moment. Like Warwick's got much more than the Gwen, but Annie's got much more than the Ari. Samira's got much more than the Vayne. You know, Poppy's got much more than the Viego. There's gaps forming in everywhere, and I think it's just going to be how they utilize the players with the money, right?
So we do see Gwen being forced to defensively pop Ghost just from Annie appearing on the screen. Interesting though, we do see, yeah, a Rylai's second item here, which will make that bear extremely difficult to escape. Which is something. Yeah, we do see Ozanox here just getting the counter junglers. They can't really contest it right now with the Samira there as well. And yeah, we'll just be gearing up for this 3rd Drake. Or 4th Drake even, my bad. Yeah, again, a very, very close game right now. Only 700 gold between the two teams.
Again, I was actually expecting this to sort of be going much more in Psy's favour again, because that early was absolutely disgusting. But
the Infinite Duress was slightly short, and he's still alive. But yeah, we'll just fall to the Infernal trigger there.
On the bright side, his bounty dropped off, so there wasn't like a massive more 150 more in the pocket of the Samira there, thankfully. But I think the Rylai's is clever to be able to being able to throw out the Qs and whatnot with more frequency, thanks to the CDR from the Leandri, to being able to slow things down like the Poppy and the Gwen. Probably actually a wise pickup for the Annie.
So we are seeing actually RIPSQUAD here looking to threaten the Baron. They will just stand in the bush, and that will just be Black Hole mid immediately one shot, ults backwards despite dying, and he does get picked up. However, in the back we see the Infernal trigger coming out here, and that will just be Rip Outlaw killed and also Middle East killed, and that will just end up being the ace here.
Bane just pushed the Samira in straight into them. Oh no.
Saying that will be the ace, and they will just pick up the Baron instead that Rip were trying to threaten.
Frail.
Unfortunately, if you're Winter right now, the last thing you want to be doing is one-shotting this 2/6 Ari that isn't really doing much other than just being canned for the CC.
Yeah, for sure. No, they played that entirely wrong. They needed to try and burst out that Samira. You get rid of that threat.
Yeah, we will see Warwick here trying to sneak the dragon, but we do see the teleport coming out from Moneyman Flacco along with Ozonox running down. And they will flash forwards and just stun Warwick into the wall and uses that infinite duress. Fusing it forwards instead, almost managing to pick up Ozonox there with the ignite. The combat summoners proving worthwhile finally.
Finally.
But yeah, that will end up actually forcing Moneyman Flacco to back. Oh, no, actually no, he's going to stick around here. As they no longer have a smite for this dragon, so it's a very risky flip should they choose to go for this. So we do see him running forwards here, but Fancy is... I don't think he was expecting them to be in there. Meanwhile, Black Hole Mid is just getting right-clicked by Bane. Means for life. The bear finds absolutely no one. He's running around. So we do see the bailout getting trilled here, but... blink and you miss it.
Oh, so bye-bye.
We do see the bailout getting triggered, but that is a free item Samira. Just E auto Q and it's gone. You have just sushi.
I think they've realised now though, when that Tibbers ult is down, there's not too much that's actually kind of scary on the side of Rip for the Samira anymore.
So unfortunately, that Tibbers just landing in the middle of 4 people and just not finding anyone.
Again, we're seeing a lack of anti-heal again on the side of Rip. Apart from that, they've just got Morellos in the mid lane. They need to have something to deal with that Samira.
Yeah, we're seeing Melt landing that handshake, and it's just immediately one shot.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's a big scuttle crab.
What the hell?
What? Was that more money?
I don't. How much did it give?
300.
I think that's normal. I don't know. I mean, oh my, that's more sushi. We see the hostile taker come out, hits nothing. We're seeing Winter being forced to flash out, but it doesn't mean anything. And they could potentially just look to end game here. Although saying that, there isn't really many winning ways, so we will see just Black Hole Mid recalling, but yeah, they're just getting picked off one by one. Look at Gromp go. And
I'm not sure if that was a visual bug or if that was something to do with their performance, but I swear that was like 300 gold gone down on that skull. It could have been something else fell at the same time and it was just the numbers look weird on my screen, but that was weird.
I don't know. But
either way though, Saya now just cleaning house.
Yeah, 7,500 gold lead. Yeah, interesting to note that we do end up seeing Warwick going Sunfire second item here, but I don't know if it's going to do much for him, as he did not manage to find any sort of real early game lead here. I mean, managed to find a lead in the context of beating Samira, but Samira just gets outscaled. Right, just gets outscaled by Gwen. Holy shit, I can't speak English.
Oh, well, my words have been terrible today as well, so it's not just you.
Yeah, we will see him all pathing top lane here. Of which, yeah, they're just looking to try and take more of these towers, as we do see a Warwick here as a lost puppy all by himself under the top lane tower. He will just be allowed, however, to walk backwards and escape for free. Meanwhile, Black Hole Mid actually going for the solo kill, finding it on Middle East, but ends up falling for it. And that's a miss there, but it did end up forcing out the flash there from Mouth to try and not die to the best. So we see the heroic charge come out, but it ends up getting flashed. We see the hostile takeover landing onto Vayne and Warwick there, which will bring Vayne forwards, but they're not able to punish it. Although we do see Jaina Pramwell going forwards here. Manages to get the Infernal Trigger. That's one dead, not able to quite get into range for that second chain dash. And yeah, that will just be a top lane tower falling there. And again, we're now looking at a 9k gold lead. And they're stuck here in the 3v4 or 3v4 defense against a Samira that has 3.5 items.
Good lord. This is that Rip had this so stable for so long, and then all of a sudden it's just a landsliding straight towards the side to side. That's a 22 assist to Renata as well.
that's the side of bot lane looking very scary right now. So Ozonox, however, biting off a bit more than he can chew, doesn't quite manage to get the Keeper's Verdict out to get rid of the Viego off his back. So was looking for the counter jungle there and just all by himself, caught out, killed, and that's that. Doesn't end up giving any kind of shot down, but that will mean they're now 4v5 here, and that will give them that initial posturing towards that dragon.
Yeah, can't afford to disrespect at the moment. You know, they've got quite a deficit if they need to. And then they've got quite a lead, sorry, on the side of side. They do not want to be just randomly giving that away.
Yeah, we do see Emil stacking in that bush there, seeing if they can potentially try and find something with... If side decide to try and look for some sort of plan on the dragon. However, they may just decide to trade the Baron here. Say they're all just... Yeah, they're sort of just going to run down mid here and say, okay, we don't care about dragon, we care about your base. And this will end up just forcing all of them to back here. And yeah, they're just going to lose their mid lane inhibitor. So we see Annie and Nami here trying to take the dragon, but Ozonox is here to interrupt. And they're now going to be stuck in... Yeah, they're being forced off that Drake, and beautiful macro there from the side of side to realise they're probably trying to make some sort of play happen on this dragon. Some sort of trap, and they're just going to decide to go, okay, we don't care about that, we'll just take your base instead.
Yeah.
So we'll see RIPSQUAD here looking to path towards that Baron, try and punish it, but they will be squad out by control. Middle East, yeah, Middle East will just get, again, cut up into sushi, and we will see the side of RIPSQUAD starting to take the Baron, but I don't think Psycho but Sweet cares. They know they can get more of the base. We do see Poppy moving up to try and potentially get a steal here. Actually, if she can land that Keeper's Verdict onto an important target, then it's a very free steal.
It's going to matter. There's 3 people in their base. If they don't back now, it's over.
So they're just losing their base. Meanwhile, we do see them manage to get the Baron here, but are they going to be able to back out? We see Rip Winter drop there, and on the wild, they're losing their base. They've lost another in here. They lost one of their Nexus towers. We see the hostile takeover come out, but it completely misses. And that will be a Outlaw just getting completely chased down. Not much you can do. Just getting outright clicked right now by a Samira of all things. And they're just going to turn straight back onto that base.
This macro from Psy in this last bit of this game has been so clean.
So that's the second Nexus tower now falling. That's a completely exposed Nexus. The only tower structures left standing for RIPSQUAD is that top lane tower and inhibitor, but
there's no regeneration on Nexus now, right? Because that we've bugged.
Yeah, because they're bugged right now. That's a 3,000 HP Nexus, and it's not much health. You know, we do see, however, Moneyman Flacco get picked up along with Ozonox in the backline, and they have actually just managed to get a complete clean-up there. But will it be enough? They have 40 seconds. They have 40 seconds, but are they going to be able to actually get anything on the map? They do have the open inhibitor, which they might just choose to go for here, but...
No, they can't. They can't.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to clear mid waves and see if they can try and take that inhibitor before they end up all respawning. Although we might potentially see Black or mid throwing out the charm. It does end up landing onto Banksy here, but it's not going to be able to defend it. It does just get eats the stun, cured, and also it's half his health gone. Is forced to pop the what's it called? Spirit Rush there in order to escape. Which that will, while it's not a long cooldown, it is still an ultimate which they will now be missing for whatever next fight they choose to take.
Pack on Titan size Viego walking around there. That's insane.
Yeah, they did manage to obviously find a return inhibitor there, but they're still playing very far down as, again, they've got an extremely open Nexus right now, and the only structure left on this map is that top lane tower and inhibitor.
Which they look like they're rotating towards as is.
And again, as you said, as of right now, with the Nexus having reduced health and no regeneration, any damage they get is found. Say we do see Ozonox dashing in there, but way too far by himself. We see the Heartbreaker coming out. Meanwhile, the Infinite Duress does actually land on Samira here. Also, that's Samira, that's Gwen. Got very low. We do see Moneyman Flacco however managed to pick up the Warwick there. We see the Heartbreaker come out. That will be another kill there onto Samira. And say they're struggling here. Unfortunately, Ozonox just went too far by himself, and they're just going to get completely cleaned up again. And we could potentially see the reverse end.
No way.
They do have the minion waves, so it is going to take a while before they can do anything, but they are now 4v1. It all rests on Moneyman Flacco if he can stop this by himself, although Ozanox is 15 seconds away. But again, those minions are very far away, so they're not going to be able to get any sort of punish here.
Oh,
As by the time those minions... Ooh. But that gold lead is starting to dwindle further and further. That's 2 bad team fights they've taken there.
It's a shame they don't have anything nearer their base for that Gwen. She could have probably just TP'd and ended with their Nexus's health being so crap nowadays.
But yeah, we see the Infernal Soul Point here spawning for the side of Psycho but Sweet as if they didn't have enough damage as it was. Of which, all they have to do is just sit there and allow the minions to shove out. As long as they keep that mid lane in check, the bot lane will do the work, all their work. However, we do see actually Inhib starting to respawn here.
I'd say you probably want to be setting up a trapper side to side here, really, don't you? Clear as much vision as possible and try and find an angle.
All they have to do here is just... Again, they have an open nexus right now. That bot lane to have the respawn, so they can threaten them. We do see Viego here looking for a stun. Isn't going to go forwards though with it.
You've got 2 options here. You either try and find a fight before this dragon, try and get a sneaky fight, or you use the Poppy and try and kill, take 2 of their people out of their fight and then just kill them like that.
So, it's important to note that Gwen does have TP here, so if they do end up fully committing to this fight, she can just go for them. We do see the flash forwards coming through from the start and from Fanksy. That will end up popping the GA, and there hasn't been any kills fallen yet. We do see the bear being dropped but immediately killed. Fanksy does end up going down here. That is a shutdown there, landing for Jenny Powell. The Infernal Trigger gets into the backline but doesn't manage to actually find any kills. But it doesn't matter! And that is the pentakill without the Infernal Trigger going off. And that will be this game going 2-0 to Psycho but Sweet.
I'm very confident coming into this with my 2-0, but my god did they work for the 2-0. Good lord. Well bloody played from the side of Psycho there for that last fight.